The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Really, and Sneeze wants to come right at the top of the hour. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 21st day of November 2024. It's time for Game 2 of this 1988 World Series, and if you were with us yesterday, you watched the longest game in World Series history. Up until at this point in time, the longest postseason game was 16 innings, and that was between the Astros and the Mets, Game 6 of the 1986 National League Championship Series. Well, that was the longest World Series game in World Series history. It's the first 15-inning game. It is not the first game to end on a walk-off sac fly. I went to look to see what the were for World Series walk-off sac flies, and since no one's watching right now live, we'll talk about it during the course of the game. Now, as far as pitching is concerned for Game 2 of this series, it will be Mike Boddicker for the Red Sox. Bob Stanley is able to go. Lee Smith, despite blowing the save in Game 1, is ready to go. And surprisingly enough, so is Jeff Sellers. He is ready to go if need be. Mike Smithson would be the long man out of the pen for Boston, however, if they need it. For the Reds, it will be Tom Browning, just as it was supposed to be. They actually have Jack Armstrong and Norm Charlton, should they need a long man. But their pitching throughout the entire NLCS and last night was pretty spectacular. So hopefully they won't need it. Lloyd McClendon, who probably wouldn't have caught if it wasn't for his game-tying home run today, does get the call back behind the plate, and the Red Sox will go with Rick Cerone and Todd Benzinger in the field again with the left-hander Browning on the hill. So there you go. That's the setup for you. It'll be Mike Boddicker for the Red Sox, Tom Browning for the Reds. The Reds, after the longest game in World Series history, lead this best of 7, 1-0. As Retro Sports Network presents the 1988 World Series. Tonight, game number 2 from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, between the Cincinnati Reds and the Boston Red Sox. Today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so it will be Tom Browning, who pitched here last week at home against the Mets in their Game 2 win. In 7 innings, in that win, he allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 homers. He walked 2 and struck out 2. Tommy is 28, fastball pitcher at 85, and an extreme flyball pitcher. He went 19-10 on the replay, which was 3rd in wins. His ERA at 3.23 was 22nd. He threw 265 innings, allowed 213 hits, 107 runs, 95 earned, 35 home runs, 61 walks, and 142 strikeouts. The lineup he'll face for game number 2, Wade Boggs leads off at 3rd. Marty Barrett at 2nd will bat 2nd. Dwight Evans and right will go 3rd. Mike Greenwell cleans up and left. Ellis Burks will bat 5th in center field. Todd Benzinger gets the call again here in Game 2. He'll play 1st and bat 6th. Jody Reed at short going 7th. Rick Cerone again, the catcher, will go 8th. And Boddicker will bat 9th. Tom Browning can give you 120 pitches. Weather, it is a gorgeous night in Cincinnati, 68 degrees. Winds blowing in from dead center at 13. Apparently Schatzy left one out there in the first base coaching box, and someone had to pick it up. Boggs is 12 for 33 now on the playoffs, hitting .364, a home run and 2 RBI. So for the Red Sox, you win today, you split going home, and you got Roger Clemens in Game 3. You lose today, you still got Roger Clemens going in Game 3. You got to win one of the 4 here in Cincinnati, and it really doesn't matter which one, as long as you win at home. Defensively for the Reds, Cal Daniels a 4 and a 6 in left, Eric Davis a 10 and a 2 in center, Paul O'Neill a 5 and a 7 in right, Chris Sabo a 7 at third, Barry Larkin a 7 at short, Ron Oster is a 6 at second, Nick Esaski a 4 at first, and again McClendon I think is a 6 and a 4 behind the plate, and he got the honor of the second start thanks to his game-tying home run in the 9th yesterday. Cheetos. So with all that, Boggs steps in. Gorgeous night. Browning is ready. And this one starts with a base hit in the left center field. Daniels will pick it up, and Boggs adds himself a single. It is also not going to steal. Marty Barrett has had a slow playoff. 5 for 36. That's 139 overall, and he went 0 for 7 last night, which isn't going to get it done. Pitch to Barrett. There's a fly ball to right field. O'Neill has to go back, but will make the catch, and Boggs goes back to first. So 1 out for Dwight Evans, hitting .258 in the playoffs. He has 2 RBI and 3 doubles. The bullpens last night, especially for Cincinnati, was outstanding. The Red Sox bullpen gave this 16-year-old kid absolute nightmares between the 3 wild pitches, including the 2 by Sellers in the 15th. Pitch to Dewey. That's up the middle. Larkin snares at Oster for 1, and there's no throw to first. There is a throw to first, but Evans beat it out. So Larkin, man, he's good. 2 out for Greenwell in the playoffs, hitting .250. That home run came against the Twins in Game 7, and he has driven in 4. Pitched from Browning. Fly ball, left center, well hit. The wind will hold that in the park, and Davis has to make a circus catch to retire the side. How about that? So, no runs, a hit, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the first here in game number 2. Red Sox nothing. Here come the Reds. So Boddicker made 2 playoff starts. He started game 6 in Boston, and he picked up the win, 5 2/3, and that 8-4 win, which tied the series at 3. 77 pitches, 5 innings, 2 runs, both earned, and he walked 2 and struck out 2, which those last set of numbers, that's what he did in his Game 3 loss in Minnesota. Can't blame that on him, though. 12 1/3 innings, 13 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 4. This Reds lineup hasn't lost yet. Barry Larkin leads off at short. Chris Sabo at third will bat second. Eric Davis in center will go third. Cal Daniels cleans up in left. Paul O'Neill is in right. He'll bat fifth. Nick Esaski at first will bat sixth. Ron Oster at second will bat seventh. McClendon didn't catch against the Mets, and if he doesn't do well today, he won't be catching in Boston either. But he's behind the plate today, batting eighth, and Browning will bat ninth. Boddicker, regular rest, 110 pitches. How you doing? Midlife crisis. Let's go Reds. The views expressed by my chat are not necessarily the ones held by Retro Sports Network. Mike Greenwell a 5 and a 3 in left for the Red Sox defense. Ellis Burks a 7 and a 5 in center. Dwight Evans a 6 and an 8 in right. Wade Boggs a 7 at third. Did John really say let's go Phils? Jody Reed a 3 at short. Marty Barrett a 5 at second. Todd Benzinger, a 2 at first. Cerrone, 7 and a 4 behind the plate. Boddicker, a 6 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Larkin continues to pound the baseball. He's hitting .458 in the playoffs. 11 hits, 3 doubles, 9 runs, and 4 RBI. This one starts for the Reds up the middle. Reed on the dirt, throws to first, 1 out. For Chris Sabo, 7 for 25 in the playoffs with 4 RBI. Last night was not the first time a World Series game ended with a sac fly. McClendon hit the big bomb. Yep, that's why I started him. With the righty Boddicker on the hill, it really should be Jeff Reed, but neither one of those catchers are offensively minded. As the cat protests in front of the door, pitch to Sabo. Fly ball to left. Back goes Greenwell. That's well hit, but Michael tracked that one down. 2 out for Eric Davis, who is now 4 for 24 in the playoffs with 3 RBI. In Game 1 last night, he did go 1 for 7, so he's had hits in 4 of the 5 games. Andrew Walk. You go back to the 1912 World Series. Game 8 between the Red Sox and the Giants. There was a tie in that series. Darkness, our old friend. And so Larry Gardner hit a World Series walk-off sac fly. I believe it was the scorer Harry Hooper. That's how I read that. The Red Sox won the World Series. No video that exists, of course, and what a dramatic game yesterday. Pitch to Davis. Ground ball to Reed. Jody never threw it. So I don't know if Davis cue balled it or what, but by the time that Reed had it, Davis was 3/4 of the way there. He wasn't going to get him. Scotty, how are you? Boy, we missed you yesterday. Cal Daniels, 7 for 21 on the series with 6 on the playoffs with 6 RBI. Throw to first. Did they pick off Davis? No, not even close. They'll pitch out. There goes Davis. Good luck throwing it down to Reed, and Eric has a steal. We said yesterday that this Red team reminded me of the '85 Cardinals with power. They can steal pretty much at will. There's no 100 steal guys. There's not a Vince Coleman or anything. But they can produce. This really was a big Red machine. 1-0 to Daniels, and he loses them. So first and second now, 2 out for Paul O'Neill. 5 for 19 in the playoffs. 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 RBI. It was a wild pitch on ball 4. That is the Red Sox 3rd wild pitch of the series. Holy Bob Stanley. And so Davis gets 3rd on that one. Pitch to O'Neill. Paulie hits a ground ball to Marty Barrett. Goes to Benzinger. And Boddicker is through 1. No runs, a hit. The Reds leave on 2. And after 1, it's the Red Sox nothing, the Reds nothing. So Burks, Benzinger, and Reed here in the second to face Browning. Ellis 4 for 30 on the playoffs. But he's starting to hit as soon as I put him down in the 7 hole for, was it Game 5 or Game 6 in the Twin Series? Pitch to Burks. There's a line drive to Larkin, and Barry soaks that one up, 1 out. Todd B, 5 for 18 on the playoffs. Driven in 5 in that grand slam in Game 1 against the Twins, which gave the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. There's a fly ball, right center. Davis will make the catch, and there's 2 out. The Red Sox, with the loss last night, have lost their last 3 World Series games, going back to Game 5 of the '86 World Series. And the Reds have now won 6 straight World Series games. Granted, you got to go back to 1975 for that, but they won Game 7 at Fenway and then took the next 4 in New York in 76, and so last night was their 6th straight. It's amazing what you can do to make a record book look good. Jody Reed hitting .286 in the postseason, 8 for 28 with 3 RBI. There's a fly ball center field. Davis, and that's that for that. So the Sox go in order in the second, and after an inning and a half in Game 2, no score. How you doing, Gus? Yeah, I did catch some of Dave Gardner's Crazy Apple hockey game last night. He did 81-82 Edmonton, Chicago. Dave, as Nick Osaski steps up at 188, 3 for 16 on the playoffs, is a huge Tony Esposito fan. So the Blackhawks were on one side, and he played them against Edmonton. I'm not sure if that was a playoff series or what. Not that Dave's doing that as a series, but if that was like a conference final or something. No, Edmonton, no, that was Vancouver that year. And so I'm watching a little bit, doing other things. And I'm seeing that Edmonton's up 5-1 in the first period. So I go do other things. And I got up this morning, and that thing had more plot turns and twists than your average soap opera. Pitch to Osaski. There's a fly ball to right. Evans will make the catch. Osaski retired, 1 away. For Ron Oster, 4 for 18 on the playoffs with a double. I knew that something was up when I saw that it took him 2 hours to play that game. Pitch to Oster. Ground ball to Reed. Jody has it. Throws to first for the out. So 2 out for the hero McClendon. 1 for 7 on the series. And his 2-run homer with 1 out off of Lee Smith set off canceled Saturday Night Live. They asked McClendon about that this morning or this afternoon in batting practice, and he just said, I don't find Dana Carvey all that funny anyway. Pitch to McClendon. There's a pop-up. Cerrone doffs the mask to the screen and will run out of real estate, and the count is 2-2. Base hit left center field. Greenwell will throw it in. Jody Reed did not make a good play. I'm assuming that the Goats aren't rooting for the Reds. Tom Browning went 0 for 2, by the way, in the Mets series. Boddicker deals. McClendon's got speed, but Boddicker strikes out Browning, and that'll do. No runs, a hit, no errors. Since he's left on 3 and after 2, no score. So Cerrone, Boddicker, and Boggs to face Browning here in the third. Browning, in 1988, owned this park. Absolutely owned it. It was Tom Browning's neighborhood. He started the real-life All-Star game here. I'm pretty sure I pitched him in the All-Star game when we did it, and got the win, which is pretty good. And then in September, in this ballpark against the Dodgers, he threw a perfect game. So Tom Browning in this ballpark in 1988, 2 peas in a pod. Cerrone 7 for 19 in the playoffs. Fly ball left field. Daniels will make the catch. 1 out. Mike Boddicker was with the Orioles in 83, but I'm not sure. I suppose I could have looked it up. What game he would have pitched in. If he pitched in one of the middle 3 in Philadelphia, then he batted. But that would be the last time he swung a bat in anger. Pitch to Boddicker. Struck him out. He actually chased an 0-2 fastball, and Browning gets the cheapie. Opening 9 for Browning, 30 pitches. 2 2/3, a hit, and the beer league strikeout. Wade Boggs single to start the ball game, the lone hit for the Red Sox. Fly ball right field. Back goes O'Neill. Boggs got a charge into that one, and that is off the wall. So Wade has 2. Is he going to turn for 3? Yes, he is. O'Neill to Oster to Sabo. Boggs with a slide, and Wade has a 2-out triple. He hit 6 in real life. And regardless of what the Red Sox do the rest of the way, Wade Boggs is hitting 400 in the playoffs. My word. Brings up Marty Barrett with 2 out. Marty's 0 for 1. Browning, deep breath. Line drive to Oster. And the Red Sox will leave Boggs on third. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the third here in game number 2. No score. So Bonaker's opening 9, 37 pitches. 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Larkin 0 for 1. You get the sense after almost 18 innings of this series that these two teams are pretty even. Pitch to Larkin. Ground ball to Barrett. Marty Waits throws to first. Larkin out. Chris Sabo's 0 for 1. It's a holiday in Washington. Is it Apple Day? I think it's Apple Day. Chris Sabo's 0 for 1. And he walked. Second walk for Boddicker. Here's Eric Davis. Sabo with great speed on first. Davis singled and stole his 4th base of the playoffs. Throw to first, and Sabo's back. So Boddicker and Cerrone point at each other, and they're just going to let Sabo do what he wants to do here. Pitch to Davis. There goes Sabo. The throw down to Barrett, and Chris is in there. So that's Sabo's 3rd stolen base of the playoffs. Again, we told you, the Reds have speed. So runner on second and a 1-strike count to Davis. Boddicker deals. Base hit right field. Evans will pick it up in the gap. Sabo around third and will hold for Cal Daniels, who walked his first time up. How eerie was yesterday's Game 1? We had the wild pitches. We had the longest game in World Series history. We had the walk-off sac fly. You know what else happened in this game if you weren't with us yesterday? Think about it. Red Sox and Reds. What happened in '75 that was really controversial between the Red Sox and the Reds? Pitch to Daniels. There goes Davis. And they will just tell Eric that that's yours. So Davis has 2 stolen bases today. They tell Boddicker just to pitch. It's a 1-strike count. To Barrett. They'll concede the run. Over to Benzinger, and there is 2 out. So Davis moves to third. You concede the run easily there. It's Ken Griffey Jr.'s birthday. He's only 5. He's 54 today, right? Paul O'Neill is 0 for 1. 2 out here. Reds scored, by the way, 1-0. Boddicker deals. Fly ball to right. Evans in the corner. Dewey will make the catch to retire the side. No runs. I'm sorry, 1 run. Reading it right off the screen, Ron. A run on a hit, and they leave on a runner. And after 3 in Game 2, Reds 1, Sox nothing. So it'll be Evans, Greenwell, and Burks to face Browning. Wade Boggs has the only 2 hits. Ground ball to first. Esaski, 1 out. Mike Greenwell is 0 for 1. Ken Griffey Jr. is such a legend out there. You'd think they would name I-5 for him. That is ripped over Esaski in the right field. And so Greenwell has a single. Oster, not sure what he was thinking. So the third hit for the Red Sox today, the first by someone else by the name of Boggs, brings up Ellis Burks' 0 for 1. Greenwell has good speed. He's not going anywhere. Pitch to Burks. There's a one off the mound, and that bounced into right field for a single. A fluky thing that hit the side of the... hit off of Browning's leg. I thought it hit the side of the mound. It didn't. It hit Browning's leg and bounced into right center. So Pete Rose goes out there. The trainer goes out there. And somehow Shotzi got loose and got out there too. Browning tells the dog to stay away and tells Pete he's fine. But the Red Sox got something cooking here in the fourth. And here's Todd Benzinger, who's 0 for 1. Advantage, Browning. 1 out. You don't hit and run here. Pitch to Todd B. Into right center. Davis. So it's not a double play anyway. Davis makes the catch. Greenwell watches and will hold. So 2 out for Jody Reed, who's 0 for 1 today. This one is as tense as you can get. 63 degrees. Wind's blowing in from left center at 14. Again, because it's a superstructure cookie cutter, I'm not sure how much that wind is going to be a factor. Pitch to Reed. Jody into right center. Davis rides a Schwinn coming in, makes the catch, and that'll do. After 3.5, Red Sox get 2 hits. They've left on 4, and the Reds lead game 2-1-0. Game 1, last night and this morning, ended at 17 after 1 this morning. The longest game in World Series history, won on a sac fly in the 15th inning. Osaski is 0 for 1. Oster and McClendon for the Reds here in the fourth. Struck him out. An 0-2 curve, and it's a called strike 3. Osaski checked it and went too far. Oster 0 for 1. Fly ball, right field. Dewey will make the grab. 2 out. For McClendon, who is turning into a folk hero in this series. He had a single his first time up. And, of course, had the home run last night. Bodeker's pitch. There's a pop-up. Barrett by the bag at second. Waits for it. And will make the catch. We have played 4 here in game number 2. Your guess is as good as mine. Reds 1, Red Sox nothing. So Cerrone, Bodeker, and Boggs to face Browning here in the 5th. Rick is 0 for 1. Pitch to Cerrone. Walked him. Ooh. Browning not happy. So Bodeker will square here. Osaski and Sabo pretty much having a normal tone conversation with Bodeker. They're so close. Mike squares. It is down. It is Sabo. His only play is to first. Oster is there. Bodeker does his job. The tying run is on second for Wade Boggs. Wade is now hitting .400 in the playoffs. 2 for 2 today. He had a triple. We look. He went 1 for 7 with 3 strikeouts in game 1. So 3 hits in a game and a half. Cerrone, for a catcher, is not slow, but below average speed overall. And Boggs gets the intentional walk with one out in the fifth. Brings up Marty Barrett, who is 0 for 2. That's interesting. Reds set up the double play. Marty really struggling. Ground ball to Browning. Oster for 1, and it worked. How about that? A Sasky for 2. A 1-4-3 double play, and we are halfway home on a rainy day in Burlington, Vermont. Reds 1, Sox nothing. How you doing, Commander Cody? If you joined us late, here's how we got here. 1-0 Reds halfway through Game 2. 1-3-0 for Cincinnati. 0-4-0 for Boston. Cal Daniels, a fielder's choice in the third, drove home the game's only run so far. And Cody says that the Reds intentionally walking Boggs was an interesting call, but the right one because it got the double play done. Boddicker, a 3-hitter through 4, a run, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, and Browning, a 4-hit shutout through 5. 2 walks and a strikeout. Browning struck out his first time up. Ground ball to Boddicker, third base side of the rubber, over to first. 1 out. So 18 batters deep for Mike, 74 pitches, 4 1/3. 3 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So the Red Sox are getting what they need to out of Boddicker. However, so the Reds are getting everything they wanted to and more out of Tom Browning. Barry Larkin is 0 for 2. Boddicker deals. Ground ball to third. Boggs has it across the way for the out. Chris Sabo walked, stole a base, and scored. He's 0 for 1. The difference in this game is the Reds' speed. Pitch to Sabo. Struck him out. That's 3 for Boddicker, and we're through 5. No runs, no hits, no errors. To the 6th we go in game number 2. Cincinnati 1, Boston nothing. So Dwight Evans, Mike Greenwell, and Ellis Burks to face Browning here in the 6th. Dewey is 0 for 2. Larkin had a decent day yesterday, but yeah, he seemed like he burned through all of his postseason hits in that LCS. I'm telling you, I can't believe that the Reds swept the Mets. Pitch to Dewey. Right back to Browning, who bobbles it, has it, throws to first. Oseski is there, and Evans is retired. Browning made a play on the third base side on that hot potato, dropped it, picked it up, and had time. Always keep your eye on the ball. And that's what Tom Browning did there. Mike Greenwell singled in his 1 for 2. Struck him out. So 1-2 fastball, and here's Ellis Burks. The Reds' bullpen is pretty much intact. They didn't overthrow anybody outside of Burks last night. Burks line drive to Larkin, and we're through 5.5. No runs, no hits, and no errors. Bottom of the 6th here at Riverfront, 1-0 Cincinnati. It's cooling off rather quickly. It got down in the high 40s by the time this one ended after midnight. 58 degrees and the wind blowing in from left center. This is, having said that, you can see it up on the top of the screen if you're watching, a home run friendly park. Left-handed hitters have an 89% chance above average, and righties 26%, like Eric Davis, who has singled twice today and stolen 2 bases. Junior has a statue but no street. The statue is on the corner of Edgar Martinez Drive and Dave Niehaus Way, as is the stadium. Oh my. Break out the rye and the mustard. Pitch to Davis. Right back to Boddicker. Played a good goalie for the Bruins there. Through to first, 1 out. Here's Daniels. Daniels walked, drove home a run. I want to say he hit the sac fly last night that won it for the Reds. Got him. That's 4 for Boddicker. A 1-2 fastball. Got him to swing. For Paul O'Neill, who's 0 for 2. This one is as tight as you can imagine through 5 2/3. Pitch to O'Neill. Got him. Boddicker is fan 5. And 0-2 curveball got him looking. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 7th here in Game 2. Reds 1, Red Sox nothing. So Benzinger, Reed, and Cerrone to face Browning. Todd is 0 for 2. Fly ball, right center. Davis will track this one down in the alley, 1 out. For Jody Reed is 0 for 2. Tom Browning has given up 2 hits to Boggs and 1 to Greenwell and Burks, and has kept the door closed on the Red Sox offense. If you remember in the Twins series, the Red Sox offense was dormant for the most part. Pitch to Reed. Line drive to Oster. 2 out. Cerrone is 0 for 1 with a walk. Base hit right field. O'Neill will pick it up. Oh, 2 out in the 7th. I don't want to go to my pen. I really don't want to go to my pen right now. Do you do it? Do you pull Boddicker, who's pitching fine? Or do you try to wait out Browning? I mean, this is why. Yeah, I think I got it, don't I? Who can hit a lefty? It's going to be Larry Parrish, I would think. Parrish pinch hit and stayed on in the double switch last night. He went 1 for 2. 3 for 13 on this playoffs. 3 singles and an RBI. Yeah, no, yeah. This American League boy would have rather have seen the more stellar Boddicker stay in the game. But it's a 1-run game, and you can't be an automatic out, no matter there. Do I pinch run for Cerrone? Well, my bench is short. I mean, I could do Owen, but then I'm left with Gedman. With 2 out, I'm not going to pinch run. With 1 out, you think about getting out of the double play. See what Parrish does here. Browning deals. Base hit left center field. So Daniels. Larkin couldn't get there. Daniels takes a funny hop off of him. Cerrone digging for third, and the throw's cut off. So I guess it really didn't matter who I ran in there, because now Cerrone would score on a single. And here's Wade Boggs. Wade is 2 for 2. He has walked and tripled and singled. They've got yet to retire him in this one. Browning, 93 pitches, 27 batters, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. A single ties the game. Wade Boggs strides to the plate. 6th hit for the Red Sox. So the Parrish for Boddicker move worked at least to get the runner going. Pitch to Boggs, walked him. And so now they're loaded for Marty Barrett. And they're not going to mess around. They're going to pinch hit for Marty. Well, hold on here. They will go with Jim Rice. 7 for 28 in the playoffs. He pinch hit last night. Got a 4% chance of a grand slam. So Browning, first time that he has been under serious duress. Boggs at third. Parrish on second. Boggs on first. Two out, top of the 7th. Browning deals. Popped up into center field. Right idea. Davis will flag it down, and that will be the stretch. 1-0 Reds. So the Red Sox are going to make some changes here. Yeah, you can play it, Cody. Textbook baseball. And it doesn't always, the textbook always doesn't show. So 3 changes for the Red Sox. You ready, kids? 1, 2, 3. It's Bob Stanley time. It's Bob Stanley time. In a 1-0 game in the World Series. It's Bob Stanley time. Pull out all your hairy time. Da 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 da. So Stanley last night, 1 inning, a wild pitch, 14 pitches in total, and a hit. Forget what he did in that debacle in Game 2 of the ALCS. His last 2 outings, 2 1/3 scoreless innings. Overall, 3 1/3, 5 hits, the 4 runs coming in the blowout in Game 2 against Minnesota. That's where the home run was. He hasn't walked anybody or struck out anybody. So we've made some changes. Stanley on the mound. The outfield is the same. The infield has dramatically changed. Larry Parrish, and Todd B pretty much interchangeable. Larry now in the game at first. He's a 2. Eddie Romero, who got a pinch hit sometime during the Twin Series, will play second, and Jody Reed is there. And you're looking at all those 3s, and it's not good in Strat, and it's not good in Action PC. Asaski 0 for 2. So Stanley will bat in the 2 hole where Marty Barrett was. So if Gardner's watching this and wondering what the hell has happened, you can double switch. You don't necessarily have to do it for the pinch hitter. Romero will bat in the 6 hole where Todd Benzinger was hitting. and Parrish will still stay in the 9th spot where the pitcher batted. And hopefully that makes things as clear as mud. Pitch to Osaski from Stanley. Struck him out. A 1-2 curve. Got him. Ron Oster is 0 for 2. I wish I had thought of the Bob Stanley song before the playoffs. You guys bring out the best in me. Ronnie Oster is 0 for 2. Got him. Stanley has struck out 2. How about that? A good morning and a good afternoon. Here's McClendon. He's 1 for 2. Red Sox left him loaded, by the way, in the 7th. They now have left on 8. No runs, 6 hits, no errors for Boston. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Reds. You never like to pull a pitcher who is doing well, but you have to take the chance to get that run in. And for the Red Sox, it didn't work. The good news is, the next 2 days at least, they'll have the DH, so they won't have to make that decision. Pitch to McClendon. Lloyd in the right center. Burks will make the catch, and that'll do. No runs, no hits, and no errors. So Stanley a clean 7th. Evans, Greenwell, and Burks here in the 8th. You can pull all the strings you want and be content that you did the right thing, but you still got to execute. Dewey 0 for 3 today. Browning starts the 8th. Fly ball left field. Daniels will track it down. They got caught in the jet stream out there, blowing in at 16. Here's Greenwell 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Browning is first up in the bottom of the 8th. So if it remains a 1-0 game, or if the Reds, well, that'll be it, then you would get Franco in the 9th for the save. Pitch to Greenwell. There's a ground ball to Oster, over to Osaski for the out, 2 away. Browning has just been on fire in this one. 7 2/3, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Ellis Burks is 1 for 3. Lines this one to Oster, and that's good. So Tom Browning, we'll see what Pete Rose does with him. 8 strong innings of 6-hit baseball after 7.5. Reds 1, Red Sox nothing. So Stanley struck out 2 in his first inning. Browning 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. And Herm Winningham will come in. Old midlife crisis is not having one right now. He's got to be pretty happy. Winningham on the postseason 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He did bat last night in that 50-inning classic, but went 0 for 1. Got him! Mr. Stanley had his Wheaties this morning. He chased an 0-2 fastball and Winningham 1 out for Larkin, who's 0 for 3. And the Red Sox hoped that Larkin's hits were all left at Shea. Pitch to Barry. Popped up. Boggs. Waits. Foul territory, 2 out for Sabo. Walked, struck out, stolen a base, and scored. Pinch hitter, Reed, and Cerrone for the Red Sox in the 9th. It will not be Eddie Romero. Pitch to Sabo. Base hit up the middle. And Burks misplayed it, so Sabo gets a base. That took a funny hop, must have hit a seam in the turf. Burks' glove went to the right and the ball squirted left. So two out for Davis, who was 2 for 3 today. He has singled twice and stolen 2 bases. Fly ball left field. Back goes Greenwell, and that is gone. Well, Eric Davis has a stapler gun into this one, trying to punch their way back to Boston, up 2-0. Down the line, let's watch it again. Greenwell gave chase. That was hit a ton. That wind is now blowing in from 19. And the Reds are 3 outs away from a 2-0 lead in this World Series. So Stanley will pitch to Daniels with 2 out. Yep, Davis's bat is waking up at the right time for the Redlegs. Absolutely. Daniels 0 for 2, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Got him. One batter too late. The Reds get 2 on a home run. That's the Bob Stanley we know and love. Well, if they can't get a run, it won't matter. We go to the 9th. 2 runs on the home run by Eric Davis. Reds 3, Red Sox nothing. So John Franco went an inning and 2/3. He pitched the 9th and the 10th against Boston, I believe. 16 pitches, so pretty easy work to get 5 outs, a walk, and a strikeout. Against the Mets, he had 3 appearances and 3 saves. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. You were thinking of purchasing Action PC Basketball. The last version you have is 2020. The graphics, I think, are better, and it's on sale today, as a matter of fact. Or Saturday. It's on sale Saturday. So, yeah, if you like the game, take advantage of it. Romero's hitting .224. Spike Owen, who got a cup of coffee pinch hit appearance in Game 7 against the Twins, will pinch hit. He's 0 for 1 in the playoffs. Yeah, every 2 or 3 years, those games just change enough that you go, wow, why didn't I do this sooner? Pitch to Owen. Fly ball to right. O'Neill. Foul territory, 1 out. Sox need 3 to tie, 4 to go ahead. Jody Reed is 0 for 3. Franco deals. Base hit left field. So that's the 7th Red Sox hit. We really don't have anybody to pinch hit for, well, we could. Let's see. Cerrone at .235. It's only Gedman, and Gedman is barely any better. But they will do it. The Red Sox bench is now empty. They've used everybody. Gedman 4 for 10 in the playoffs, a home run. That tied Game 5 in Minnesota. He's driven in 3. Ground ball to Oster. Larkin for 1. Asaski for the 2-0 lead. Franco and Browning shut out the Red Sox 3-0. What else could have I done? What did I do wrong, gang? The Reds have won 6 straight playoff games, and deservedly so. They have been the better team in the series, and the Red Sox haven't been bad at all. So 2 hours and 44 minutes, so you get the 11 o'clock news on time. And after you sat there and watched football for 7 hours and baseball for 2 hours and 44 minutes, you really need to stop drinking the Budweisers right about now. The Reds take a 2-0 lead on the series, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they left on 4. The Red Sox, no runs, 7 hits, an error, and they left on 8. Yeah, the difference with Boddicker is that you leave him in, but you need the opportunity for the run. So, no, I didn't feel bad about doing it. You're always taking the chance with Stanley on the mound, but to be fair, they didn't score anyway. So the home run that Davis hit was good for Davis's morale, but it really, when they could not score off of Browning with the bases loaded, yeah, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. And, the Red Sox led game 1 4-0 and haven't scored since the 4th inning of game 1. So we went 11 innings since then last night. I mean, the Red Sox have been held off the board the last 15 innings. No, he didn't really hurt the Sox until he started to get tired. He still struck out 4. So Tom Browning, 8 shutout innings. He's your Digital Dice MVP. 6 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Boddicker, again, you hate to pull a pitcher. He was only going to go 1 more anyway, looking at that pitch count. That's pitching well. 6 innings, 3 hits. A run it was earned. He falls to 1-2 in the playoffs. But again, you really can't blame him for the loss. 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. Stanley, 1 bad pitch to Davis. 2 innings, 2 hits, the home run. Both the runs are earned. And Stanley struck out 4 of the 6 outs that he got. And Franco, despite the hit by Reed, pitched 9th to get his 4th save of the series. So, this series will go to Boston on Monday. It'll be Roger Clemens going against Jose Rio. In a game the Red Sox really need. The Reds, again, they haven't lost a World Series game now in their last 7. That's pretty good. The 4 against the Yankees in 76, and now 3 straight World Series games against the Red Sox. And before you poo-poo that, Dwight Evans played in that 75 series. The Red Sox have lost the last 4 in the World Series, but again, they didn't play a bad game today. They didn't play a bad game in Game 1. The Reds, kind of like with the Mets, have just played better than good. And with all that in mind, by the way, we're taping the Black Friday episode of Digital Dice on Sunday evening. So until then, I'm Ron Juckett. As Scotty says, see you in Boston. Thank you so much, everybody.